If you are a Grey's Anatomy fan, then you've probably seen the episode of the woman who had 2 uteruses that was pregnant. But I'm here to tell you that today we're not talking about some crazy TV storyline. I actually know someone in real life who has Uterus Didelphys, and today we're going to dig into that. So, welcome back to the second episode of the Maternal Podcast. Our guest today is Miss Lacey. This is my best friend in real life, and we're going to dig into life with Uterus Didelphys. I will have you know that my baby, my exclusively nursed baby, only woke up twice last night.
No way.
And I got to have some time with my husband.
You love that for you.
I know, I love that for myself, honestly. So thanks so much for coming on.
Of course.
I can't
Thanks
believe.
for having me.
Yeah, of course. I can't believe that we both have 2 kids now,
I know.
outnumbered by the children.
Crazy.
And how long have we been friends now? I can never remember.
Gosh, like 15, 14, something like
makes me
that.
wanna gag.
Yeah.
Actually,
We're getting old.
I know. And how old is Miss Thing now?
4 months.
How's the brain fog?
Oh, it's great.
The brain fog for me still, I'll be 9 months postpartum in a week or 2 weeks. See, brain fog. And the brain fog is horrible. I took my son to the doctor, probably, it's been a while now, but I literally cannot remember the year that he was, like, I knew the gap of the year of which he was born in, but I couldn't remember between 2 years. And I was like, am I getting dementia or like it was not. I was concerned. I looked at my mom and she was like, it's just the brain fog. And I'm like, I really hope it is just the brain fog.
Yeah, well, I don't ever remember when I even let my dog out, so.
I do remember that because we were on FaceTime the other day and she asked her 3-year-old if he let the dog out. And he was like, what? And she was like, he had to have let the dog out. And I was like, Lacey, I just watched you let out the dog. Like,
It's
what?
fine.
And you're like, I'm losing my
It's
mind.
fine. It's fine.
You have to have that friend that you can text at like that reel you sent me the other day at like 9 a.m. Like, what the fuck is going on right now? Because momming like 2 so
my
close
gosh.
together is.
You're even in it deeper than me.
I think no, I don't believe that it's deeper. I believe that just having 2 little kids is really, really hard.
It is.
Like so hard. So, but what a blessing for you to have 2 kids
Yes.
because it took some faith in God, yeah?
Indeed.
How long did it take you to get pregnant with your first?
With him, it wasn't as like prominent of a like issue as it was with her. So my husband was in the military, and when we started trying for my first, it was right around when he was supposed to get out. So he was back and forth visiting home in California. So the timing never really like added up for ovulation for us to get pregnant with him. And then when he got out, I was pregnant probably 2 months after he had gotten out and gotten home.
Yeah.
So, but we weren't tracking anything or really trying. I didn't know anything about any of that.
Yeah, and you didn't know that you had Uterus Didelphys yet, right?
No.
Can you just like briefly explain what that is?
Yeah. So basically, it is when you have 2 uteruses and it's split like in the middle by a pretty thick septum, and they're completely separated. And then you also have 2 cervices,
cervices, yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. But yeah, never knew about that. So
yeah. So when like, cause didn't they think you had something like we knew you didn't have quote a normal uterus.
Yeah. So we used to see the same provider. Shout out. And we would.
I cannot even go into that at all, actually. Continue.
We would go together.
We did go together, yeah. Pap smear day, anything. Honestly, that is girlhood. If you can go hang out to go get your pap smears, that is like next level in my opinion. He was probably like, what is going on right now?
Let's make sure they're on the same day, same time.
I'll hide your underwear if you hide mine.
But anyways.
She said, girls, can y'all quiet down, please? I'm
trying to sleep. Can you stop? So I got an IUD placed when me and my husband had gotten married. I was about to
the IUD.
The IUD.
The copper IUD?
No.
No?
Because TRICARE wouldn't cover Miss Copper. They only covered Miss Hormonal, and she was not good for me.
But you had a copper IUD too, right?
I was going to.
You
the
didn't
copper.
get the copper?
No.
Why all this time I thought you had the copper?
No. It was Miss
Because I thought
Murena.
No. I thought we thought you had copper toxicity.
No. We were worried about I was worried about getting it because I didn't want to get the
I feel like
copper
I'm losing
toxicity.
my mind right now.
It's the brain fog.
There she is.
No, I think it's Murena, Kylena, one of the two.
Let's see.
And
This was before you got pregnant.
yeah.
IUD for never been pregnant women.
Yeah, TRICARE didn't cover the copper because we were gonna get copper, and then he was like, TRICARE doesn't cover it, but this has low hormones, so you should be fine.
She was not fine.
I was insane.
No offense.
Thank God for my
Marina?
husband. Yep, Marina, that's her. Thank God for my husband because I would have left me if I was him. I was crazy. But as soon as I got it out, it was fine. So
no comment.
10 out of 10 don't recommend.
Thank you. Can I say his name?
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron, for your patience.
We love you.
We love Aaron. That's wild. Okay, so you get your IUD placed, and Mr. Doctor is like, it looks like you have.
He said it looked like I have a bicoriated uterus, which is basically similar, but it's just one uterus with a septum that's not completely separating the two sides, so it looks like a heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he was placing the IUD, he couldn't get it in the middle because of the septum, which I'm like now thinking back, well, you couldn't get it in the middle because there was two different sides.
I'm having a really hard time understanding this, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I'm not a doctor. I'm not, an ultrasound technician, like, but I don't understand how we're missing that.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of makes me want to look in your vagina myself and look at the two cervix just to make sure, because it almost concerns me a little bit. I don't know what side I lie on. Like, I'm either concerned that you didn't see both cervixes, or maybe he was like maybe it's so rare that he was like, there's no way this is what I'm seeing right now. But I also don't understand, where were you trying to put it? If like,
yeah,
I don't understand what he was looking at.
It's like leaning to the one side, which still is so confusing. I need to go get an ultrasound not pregnant so people can really see what's happening.
That's actually a good idea, probably.
And he was like, so it's leaning to this one side. It will probably work because it's hormonal, but just take extra precaution.
Great. Okay.
Because it's not placed like exactly to where it will block the sperm, which is apparently with that one, it like is hormones and it uses like some type of something to, I don't know. She sucks. Don't recommend.
So, how long did you have it in?
A year and a half.
Actually, let's talk about the IUD placement. I feel like that's a really popular conversation today. Is like women trying to women are trying to advocate for pain management when getting IUDs placed. So how was the pain for you?
For me, it wasn't really that bad. But when I got mine placed, I don't know, I guess his nurse was in there and she was like, honestly, I have never seen someone handle this IUD placement like you did.
Oh, she said high pain
tolerance. I said slay, so I can do a natural birth. Before I figured out what's wrong with me.
Well.
And she was like, because most people are like screaming, pretty
I wonder
much.
Which cervix they put it in.
Who knows?
And that was before you didn't, because we no longer believe in birth control. Right?
Yeah, no.
I don't either. I refuse to take it.
I will never, ever take birth control.
Good thing my
I'm
husband
very passionate
can pull out. Thank God.
Yeah.
So you thought you had the bicoriated uterus.
Yes.
You didn't think that it would have any effect on getting pregnant. Granted, like when you got this information, you were not even in the realm of like trying
to get
pregnant.
Yeah, I was
obviously
in the realm of preventing that.
Yeah.
But when he placed it, he said, actually, like, this is really rare, but my wife has this condition. And he was like, we've had 3 babies. Like, she's had to have a C-section because they were all breech. He was like, but other than that, like, no complications.
Someone during the cesarean, well, I don't know, because they didn't tell you that you had it with your first cesarean.
No.
So maybe she has Uterus Didelphys and nobody freaking knows it.
My only thought with the first why they didn't say anything to me was because maybe they thought I knew. Because
No way. That is like, it's so rare. I'm sure that the doctor would have been wigging out
yeah.
if he or she realized that was what you had.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Mhm.
that's just such a big thing to go unknown for so long. It's just absolutely bizarre to me.
Yeah.
But with your birth of your first baby was a little traumatic. Yeah.
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 She was she. He was yeah. He made me not want to have any more after that.
When did you go into labor with him?
I was 35 weeks in one day. And so
What did you
obviously
think was like what happened the day you went into labor?
so I had a history of kidney stones in my pregnancy with him and with her. I had one kidney stone with her, but thank God I didn't get it. I think I was just severely dehydrated.
Really?
Yeah, because
With her or him?
both.
Oh.
Because then I started drinking more water. I never got them
I was
again.
gonna say, why are you so prone to them? You don't drink enough water.
Yep, that would be the reason. Because pregnant women are more prone to kidney stones than like a regular woman because you have more calcium, I guess, in your system.
Hmm.
Anyways, so it was my second time having kidney stones with him. The first time I passed them on my own, they were basically like, there's really nothing we can do for you. Just take Tylenol, whatever, because they can't really put you on pain medication when you're pregnant,
Right.
like high pain medication.
Mm-hmm.
But the second time I got them, I'm like, this is absolutely terrible. Like, I can't deal with this. I have to go somewhere and see what they can do for me because this is like the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I was like doubled over on the bed.
Mm.
And so we went into this standalone emergency room. It's like 10 minutes from our house, but they're the same like umbrella, I guess, as our main hospital. So
Yeah.
they had all of my medical records.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get there and the nurse that like does all of the initial stuff was like, "We're not delivering a baby today." I said, "Thank you. I'm
What
not
an
planning on it."
odd thing to say to somebody.
I'm like, "Why would you even tell me that?" And my husband's like, "Yeah,
Right.
we're
like
not trying to have a baby today."
right.
Because
Weirdo.
obviously we didn't know any of this. Like, I had gotten multiple ultrasounds with my son, and nobody said anything about even a bicoriated uterus. So I was like, oh, maybe he just misdiagnosed me when he placed that. Like, I guess everything's fine because why wouldn't you bring that up?
Yeah.
So I had no idea that I was like even at risk for going early
Mm-hmm.
with him. I did have like a ton of Braxton Hicks and like false contractions and stuff with him, especially leading up, but it was nothing that they were concerned about. So we went, they were like, let's do an ultrasound to see if you do have a kidney stone. The ultrasound technician was in there looking. He's like talking to me like this is like nonchalant, like I'm not dying right now.
Right.
He's like, so might as well just take a look at the baby while we're in here. And I'm like, oh, that would be cool, I guess. And he was like, did you know that he was breech? I said, no.
You didn't know he was breech?
No.
Did you get belly mapped at you were with midwives, right?
Yeah. And they never said anything.
Really?
But at 34 weeks, I switched to a new provider because I just felt like I was not getting what I needed at mine.
Mm-hmm.
And even she like belly mapped me and did not say anything about him being breech,
That is very odd
which
to
is
me.
very strange. And I just thought it was his butt because I had never been pregnant.
So because I'm curious, when he would kick and like move, where did you feel more of your like movement at?
It was at the bottom, but I figured he was just like punching, like not
Mm.
kicking so much. And then I thought that his head, where it was his butt because I had never been pregnant. None of my friends had been pregnant. Like, and obviously, when I was pregnant with her, and we'll get into what I knew and when, and I felt her head, I was like, oh, that is 1000% her head. Like, I
Right.
knew
I
that was
remember
her
feeling
head.
her head.
And I don't know. I guess nobody told me what to look for, and so I
Right.
didn't know. And he's
So
like,
that was like really big news.
yeah.
to you.
So I was like shocked, and I'm like, okay, great. So I'm 35 and 1. I had this plan to give like to have a whole natural birth and to go unmedicated
Mm-hmm.
and all of this stuff. I was like, and literally every single one of my plans is going out the window because I'm 35 and 1. The chances of getting him flipped that late were like really low.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, just bring it up to your provider when you go. Whatever. I was like, yeah, I'll do that. I go back to the room and I tell my husband, I'm like, well, the baby's breech. And poor thing, men don't know anything about birth. He's like, what does that mean? And I'm like, that means his feet are like down where his head should be.
Did he even know even then that
No,
that was a
he's
problem?
like,
Well, not a
"Oh."
problem.
He's like, okay. I was like, so they won't deliver the baby if his feet are down instead of his head. And he's like, all right, well, we'll worry about that later. Let's worry about what's at hand.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah. So I sit down on the bed and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have to pee so bad. And I was like dreading peeing because kidney stones and peeing, it's just the worst thing ever. And so I like
Is it like a
stand up.
UTI? I've never had a
Oh my
kidney
gosh,
stone.
it's like lava.
Really?
Like coming. It is I'm not
Ugh.
even kidding. It's
Have you had
the
a
worst
UTI
pain.
before?
No. I thought I was having one at first. When I had my first kidney stones.
I would rather give birth to my asynclitic baby again than have a UTI.
Yeah, people say the kidney stone pain is worse than
I
birth.
can't even imagine.
And so when you pee, it literally is like lava from the depths of the earth, like
Yeah.
coming out.
I just had another realization while I'm sorry, I'm like researching as you're talking because I'm still just absolutely flabbergasted at the fact that no midwives were able to figure out that he was breech. Like that is the reason I'm having a hard time with that is because they check for a heartbeat at every appointment. And if he is upside down, the heartbeat is going to be significantly higher, excuse me, than what it would be if he were to be head down. So you would think between the placement of where they're finding the heart rate, as well as they're supposed to be doing what's called Leopold maneuvers, which is where they assess the position
Yeah.
of the baby. Unless your first just had a really bony bottom, I don't understand how nobody knew.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm just like
No,
mind blown
it's
at that.
literally a failure in the medical system. Like that
Yeah.
I went that long not knowing my condition. Like it's actually crazy.
Did they mention him being breech at your 20-week anatomy scan?
Yes.
Okay.
But they weren't worried because they're like, he's so small.
It's still
like
early. Yeah,
he
like,
can still flip. There's
yeah.
like this is not an issue.
No doubt. But then nothing was changing.
Yeah. So, when I stand up to go pee, my water explodes all over the floor.
Oh.
Or no.
Like
It happened on the bed. And I was like, that doesn't feel right. And I was like, I think I'm peeing myself right now. But it's not burning.
Right.
And I'm like,
something's
not right.
It's not hurting.
But something's not right here. So then I stand up and it explode balloon pops out of my body.
I can't even like a picture like what that is.
And like my husband is like, whoa. He's like, yeah, I think that's your water. And it's like literally like river on the floor.
Crazy.
And so he's like, oh my God, I cannot wait to go tell this nurse.
Yeah, so I guess since he wasn't breech, his head wasn't plugging
Yeah.
your cervix, so all that water was just like gone.
Yeah. So he's like, oh my God, I can't wait to go tell this nurse that said she's not delivering a baby that your water just broke. So he's like, let me go to the nurse's stand. And he's like excited about telling this lady.
And what are you feeling during all of this?
I'm freaking out. I'm like, there's no way that this is happening to me right now.
Yeah.
Because this is my first baby. Everyone's like, oh, you're going to go 42 weeks. Like, don't expect your baby to get there early. Like, whatever. And so I'm freaking out. So he goes and tells the nurse, hey, my wife's water just broke. And he was like, you should have seen the look on her face.
I wish I could see the look on her face.
And so then everyone starts
I would have been like, this is your fault.
Yeah, you spoke this into existence, ma'am. Everyone's running around like chickens with their heads cut off around this place.
We're playing footsies.
I love that for us. My foot's asleep, actually.
Oh, no.
So they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Like they are freaking out. And I'm like, this is not helping the fact that I'm freaking out. Like, you guys are the people that need to be calm in this situation. My water broke. It's not like I'm going to have a baby on your floor. I'm 35 weeks. This is my first baby. Calm down.
Yeah.
And so then they're like, all right, let's get your doctor on the phone. Like, we'll get an ambulance here. And my husband's like,
Ambulance.
yes. My husband's like, why do we need an ambulance? Like, I can just drive her. And they're like, you need to be safe and just get the ambulance.
What?
And he's like, okay. And we're 23. Like, we don't know anything about anything. We're
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
And so they call the ambulance. We're waiting for the ambulance to get there. My husband gets to the hospital before the ambulance. Let me just say that. Yeah, they couldn't even do lights and sirens. Like, I'm just riding in the ambulance
For
like
literally
it's
no reason.
yeah,
For a
literally
check.
no reason.
Literally for a check.
So while we were waiting for the ambulance to get there, this
Oh, I interrupted
urgent
you.
care.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. This standalone ER doctor, like I guess just one of the gosh, what do you call that when they practice? A general physician.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I need to do a cervical check on you. Like, I am so sorry.
He said that. So he said, "I'm so sorry."
Yes, he said, I'm so sorry. I've never done this before.
Oh,
I'm like,
did you know that you were able to be like, no, you're not doing that?
no. And I was just in so much shock that I'm just like, what? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And the things that I've learned, and I
Yeah.
wish I could go back and tell myself,
Yeah.
but it really wasn't that bad for him not knowing what he's doing. Like, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but that's the first one I ever got. Like, I never got any from my providers or anything. And he's like, okay, well, it feels like you're a 1, like it feels really small, like you should be fine. And I'm like, another
Who even
reason,
knows what cervix he was touching?
right? And then another thing, I'm like, okay, looking back, why did I need to get driven to the hospital in an ambulance if I'm dilated to a 1?
Right. It's like you're gonna have the baby in the
Right.
car.
But whatever. So the ambulance gets me. My husband gets there first, and once we are at the hospital, it was probably 45 minutes at the most from the time I got into the room to the time they were taking me back to the operating room to
Mhm.
have him.
So
So
no one even gave you like the option to do a breech birth or
no,
anything. They were just like, "We're prepping you. Let's go."
yeah, which I guess I mean it's hospital policy, I guess that they couldn't try,
Yeah.
and I don't know what I would have done because you're like told that breech birth is dangerous, and
Yeah.
so it's like in that moment I probably would have just been like, just do the C-section because this
Yeah.
is terrifying.
Yeah, and I don't blame you for that at all. I don't really know a whole lot about breech birth, but I feel like there's a lot more evidence coming out now that breech birth isn't necessarily dangerous, but I know that a lot of midwives and practitioners in America are not trained on breech birth
Yeah.
at all. Like, so I completely
So
get it.
the midwife basically checked to make sure that he was breech, and she was like, all right, well, I'm calling them to prepare the OR, and then we went in, and it was just I was so disoriented, and like I was so checked out like this whole entire time because like this
Yeah,
is
I remember when you called me that day. Like, I vividly remember that phone call. I was at work and it was late, and you were like, "I'm in labor," or my water broke or something, and I was like, "Huh?
yeah.
How far along are you?" And I remember being scared, not trying to like scare you in that moment, because also like I didn't know anything either at that time because I didn't
Yeah.
have my babies yet. All I know is like 40 weeks is normal. So
Yeah.
like, but I remember getting off the phone and being like, she's really cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, I don't even think I was like in my right mind, like
Yeah.
honestly. And like even postpartum with him, I was just not there. Like
How was the actual cesarean? Like, how'd that go?
it wasn't bad. It was like the only thing that's like really hard about a C-section is just feeling like so alone in this like sterile environment.
Yeah.
I've never been through anything like that. Like obviously my second birth with her, I had to get another cesarean, and it was a much different experience because I knew what to expect.
Yeah.
But like you're in this room, like they had me walk back because I wasn't even contracting or anything. So like I'm walking back with this nurse I don't know. Like my husband's like standing there like outside while I'm getting like the spinal block, and like it's terrifying. Like, and I'm like sitting there like shaking like
Yeah.
so bad, and the nurse
Did
is
they
like,
let Aaron in the room while you were getting the spinal block?
mm-mm.
No.
They won't let them in until, I guess, to keep a sterile environment. I don't know. They won't let them in until after you're completely
Was
numb.
anybody, like, supporting you?
Yeah, the nurse, she was really great, I will
Good.
say. She was, like, holding my hands and while I was doing it, and she was like, "You're doing so good, like, I know this is scary, like, you're gonna be okay." Like, she
Aw.
was really
Well, I'm glad you
supportive,
had a good nurse.
and I loved her. Um, but after I was numb, like, it went perfectly. I know some people have complications and can still feel
Yeah.
some, which thank the Lord that both of mine have gone really well.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm glad too.
but yeah, it was pretty routine. I did throw up during it both times, but it's very common, I guess, with the antibiotics.
Yeah, I think,
Something that they give you.
one of my other girlfriends threw up in both of hers as well.
Other than that, it went as well as it could have gone.
Yeah. So after having your first baby, did you think you wanted to do it again?
No,
Really?
it was, and this sounds so dramatic, but it was literally the
No.
worst experience of my life. Like,
Why do you feel like that's dramatic?
I don't know. Like, because everything ended up being fine. Like, he was fine. He didn't have to go to the NICU. Like, we took him back a couple of times for, like, he was jaundice really bad, and then he had some breathing issues. But nothing ended up being wrong. And so I think I, like, told myself in my head, well, like, everything turned out fine.
Yeah.
So, like, it just felt like I was being dramatic.
Well, I don't think you should feel that way. I think that especially in social media culture, like a lot of people are quick. I feel like actually, let me take that back. I feel like it's getting better, but I feel like people are quick to say, "At least you have a healthy baby.
Yeah.
At least you didn't have to go to NICU.
Yeah.
At least you didn't have any complications." Well, yes, I'm glad. I'm really glad that we're meeting bare minimum standards here, but
Right.
like I still didn't get the birth that I'd been desiring this
Yeah.
entire time. And I feel like you are valid in saying like you're allowed to say that and
Yeah.
not feel like you're being dramatic. So please don't let anybody ever feel like you're being dramatic.
Yeah, but I had, like, told my husband, I'm like, I just don't know if I can do this again. Like, I don't know if I can be pregnant again. My pregnancy with him was awful.
Yeah, because you still didn't have any answers too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I was throwing up for, gosh,
So
like the whole time, at
long.
least
Yeah.
25 weeks. I
Yeah.
was still throwing up
Yeah.
multiple times a day. I was like, I just don't think that I ever want to be pregnant ever again.
Did anyone ever bring up the possibility of you having the was it hyperemesis?
No. Which is crazy because I looked back when I was pregnant with her at my records with him, and it literally said on my chart that I had it, but nobody ever said anything to me.
Did they give you anything for it? Like any?
They gave me Zofran,
Yeah.
but then they were like, "This could cause birth defects, so take it at your own risk."
I just don't understand why. It's crazy to me. We had two very different experiences with the
At the same
same
people.
people.
Yeah.
Like, makes me sad. It makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is gonna come across. I don't know how to say this without it sounding like I didn't have any complication. Like, I don't mean it like that, but like,
Yeah.
does every woman who has complications with this team feel this way? Because
Right.
that is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, I had lost 25 pounds with my first because I threw up so much.
And there was no compassion.
And nobody said
no.
anything about it. Like, they weren't concerned. I'm like, I've lost 25 pounds. At the end of my pregnancy with him, I weighed less than I did before I got pregnant.
Yeah.
But
That's.
nobody said anything. No one.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You had that experience.
But my new team that I had with her was much better. It was
Yeah.
a much better experience.
And I guess at some point you started feeling better about having another baby.
Yeah.
Because
It was about a year and a half postpartum, I guess. I was like, okay, like, I think I can do it again. Like, it was miserable, but like having him like made it worth it in the
Yeah.
end. And so I was like, I want to give him a sibling. Like, I don't want him to be like alone. Like,
Yeah.
I think that I'm ready. And my
Mhm.
husband could have like 100 kids if I
Yeah.
would let him. Like, he's just like, let's have as many kids as possible.
He's really good with the kids too.
He is. He's the best.
Yeah.
So we started trying. He was a year and a half,
Mhm.
and we didn't know how long it would take or what would happen. But we were going on like month 5 of trying and still nothing. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to get something checked. Like, I don't know what's taking so long. So I went and got hormone levels done, and like everything looked normal. There was no answers. And then she's like, okay, well, if you try a couple more months and there's still nothing, like maybe we'll have you come back and get your levels drawn again.
Yeah.
And if once you're trying for a year, like if you come back and you're still not pregnant, then we'll refer you out to a fertility specialist.
Mhm.
And I'm like, just like, oh my gosh, like, I just don't understand, like, why this is happening to me. Like, why is my birth so terrible? Like, why can't I get pregnant again? Like,
Yeah.
this is literally, like, I felt like so alone. No one understood. Like, and then you don't want to like tell anyone because it's just like such a personal like subject. And so I got more blood work done. I was 11 months into trying. Everything came back completely normal, and I'm like, okay, if this isn't the time, like maybe my husband needs to get checked. Like something's got to be going on.
Yeah.
So I thankfully got pregnant that month. The month before they were gonna refer me out. Um, and everything went smoothly
Mhm.
with her pregnancy.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
had
you didn't have like nearly as much sickness
oh
with her, right?
no, I was only sick for like 12 weeks, and then I was good, and I was like, thank the Lord, because it was almost like a redemptive experience for me, to where like after I had her, I was like, okay, I can do that again. Like I
Right.
can have another one.
Yeah.
Um, so I went in for my initial dating scan. I was like 7 or 8 weeks, I
Mhm.
guess. Um, and I was having bleeding the week before. It wasn't
Mhm.
anything like crazy, but it was definitely like, I'm not supposed to be bleeding.
Yeah.
Which I had with my first two, but then they just did an ultrasound, like one of those like portable ones.
Mhm.
And they were like, no, he's fine. Or they didn't know what he was then, but
Yeah.
they're like, baby's fine,
Yeah.
heartbeat's great,
Mhm.
whatever. That was that. And I
Mhm.
stopped bleeding shortly after.
They didn't tell you that it could have been like a subchorionic hematoma
No, they didn't
and
see anything like that.
okay.
Yeah. And so the bleeding I
It's
had
just
this
like the
time.
lack of any answers from them for me,
Yeah.
honestly. That is pissing me off.
Yeah. The bleeding I had this time, they were basically like, well, there's really nothing we can do like on an ultrasound right now. Like, let's just get your HCG drawn,
Mhm.
and then your ultrasound is next week. So if your HCG comes back fine, like, we'll just keep that appointment. Everything was fine. HCG was rising. It was like in the rafters, like to where it wouldn't even go up anymore. Like it
And
stopped.
just so the audience knows, you're with a different set
Yeah.
of doctors
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
this point, yeah.
Um,
But still with midwives. Yeah.
So it got to the point where it was like so high that it wasn't even doubling anymore.
Mhm.
And this was frustrating because they were like, well, it didn't double. So we're a little concerned about that. But it was like, I was like looking it up on chat. I'm like, chat, what does this mean? And chat's like, when your levels get that high, like they slow down, they don't double as quickly.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, okay.
Did you know when your HCG levels get that high? 'Cause I'm like a chronic pregnancy test taker after I get pregnant for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, I am too.
I don't know why. I just do it. And I remember at one point I took a pregnancy test and it came back negative, and I was like, "What?"
Because it was
Excuse
like
me?
too high.
Yeah, your HCG can get way too high and
Yeah.
cause a negative pregnancy test.
Yeah. So they were like, I'm sure everything's fine, but we're just gonna, your ultrasound is literally in a couple of days. Like, we'll look at everything then. So then we go, and she takes the ultrasound, and she's like, oh, you have a bicoriated uterus. And I'm like,
Oh, there's that word again.
oh, she's back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like I thought I might have. And she was like, but they didn't say anything with your first. I was like, no. And she's like, huh. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, the ultrasound technician, which was crazy, was the one who explained to me. She's like, your HCG levels were like too high to double. Like, that's not concerning at all. I'm like, well, thank you for
Right.
explaining
Glad
that.
somebody told me.
And then, the bleeding you were experiencing was likely coming from the other side of your uterus, the other horn, as they call it, in the bicoriated uterus. She was like, that horn didn't realize that you were pregnant, technically. So it was like shedding the lining, even though it's the same uterus, like it's blocked, I guess. So she was like, it was shedding the lining from that side that didn't have whatever. She explained it.
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, at least the bleeding's like nothing crazy. And I
Yeah.
know to expect that pretty much
Right.
when I get pregnant.
Mhm.
So I meet with my midwife after that. She's like, well, since you have the bicoriated and you were 35 weeks with your first, like you're high risk. So I'm going to refer you to maternal fetal medicine just to get routine ultrasounds so that we can make sure everything's going good,
Mhm.
that you're not going to, go into crazy early term labor, whatever.
At this point, had you yes, you had already gotten into like more of the like not holistic lifestyle, but like crunchy,
Yeah.
if you will. Did it bother you that they told you had to get more ultrasounds than normal, or is that something that you don't really?
I don't really. I mean, I would rather not have them, but with my like situation, like I would rather make sure that everything is
Yeah.
going fine
Yeah.
than to not have them.
Yeah.
So I had my first ultrasound with the maternal fetal medicine when I was like 10 weeks. So they did the ultrasound. They were like, yeah, we can see the bicoriated uterus. This side is like really small. This side's bigger. So like your baby should have plenty of room, whatever. So she like drew me a picture of what she thought that it looked like. And she was like, you should be good. Like you shouldn't have any problem, at least making it to how far you got with your first. Excuse me. And she was like, if you start having like, we're going to do cervical checks, make sure your cervix isn't shortening, like not cervical checks, but cervical like ultrasound to make sure that your cervix isn't getting any shorter. And that, because that's a sign of preterm labor. If it is, like we'll staple it, we'll put a stitch in it, like everything should be okay. So I went back at 16 weeks. I had my ultrasound where they looked at the uterus, looked at baby, whatever. And then she did the vaginal ultrasound to take a look at my cervix. And she was like, huh, I'm seeing 2 cervixes. And I was like, oh, we are? And she was like, maybe I'm not seeing this right. Like, I'm going to bring this up to the provider, but I'm definitely seeing 2. And I'm like, okay. And so then the provider comes in and she's like, so we were under the impression that you had the bicoriated uterus. She was like, but you actually have something that's called total uterus didelphys, which means that you have 2 uterus and 2 cervixes.
Were you like,
I was like shook.
what?
I'm like, what is happening right now? And she's like, there's nothing really to be concerned. Like the symptoms and the risks are the same as the bicoriated uterus, like preterm labor, breech birth, like higher risk of having a C-section, like and then a miscarriage rate is higher with it. But she was like, you're past the point.
Right.
So I think worry about that, especially since you went 35 with your first. So she was like, I wouldn't be concerned. Like, everything's fine. We'll monitor it. And then she asked to do a physical exam just to see if she could see it with her eyes. And she's like, oh, yeah, there's 2. Like, you can see them both. They're like right beside each other. Like, one's right in front of the other. And the ultrasound girl's like, can I please look?
Did you let her?
Yeah. I was like, sure, girl.
That would be me. That would be me. Can I please look at your cervix?
I'm like, you're up in there with the transvaginal. Like, might as well just take a peek.
Yeah. Sometimes I like how does it make you feel when people are like, wow, that is so cool.
Now, once the initial shock wears off, it's like, yeah, I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, because people are like, it's like, you know, when they're like icebreakers, like, tell me one fun fact about yourself. I have 2 uteruses. Like, I be telling everybody. But, so they were like, well, just keep an eye on it. Everything should be fine. And I had a pretty, like, easy pregnancy with her. I definitely could tell she was breached the whole time. I felt her head. Like, I could hold her head. I sent a picture to you. Like, holding her head in my hand because you could, whenever I would get a Braxton Hicks or anything, you could see her noggin.
Yeah. When you finally got the diagnosis of the uterus didelphys, did it give you any sort of, like, relief? Like, I know it was shocking, but did it give you any sort of, like, finally, like, we know what's going on?
I was like, this makes so much sense. It explains everything that happened. Like, at least I know now what I'm dealing with. But then it also came with, like, the realization that I'm literally never going to have a normal birth and a normal pregnancy. Like, this is going to be how it is for the rest of, like, my babies that I have. Like, I'm going to be high risk. I'm going to have to get ultrasounds. Like, I am never going to be able to do, like, birth the way that I really wanted to.
What do you feel like helped you, like, come to peace with that realization? Because I know that had to have been really hard.
It was really hard. And it was, it felt like no one understood.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone's like, well, at least you know. And it's like, but you don't have like the support. Like, no one is like, are you okay with this?
Yeah.
And then you try to explain it to people, and it's just like,
I know we've
people
already
don't
hashed this out
understand.
personally, but I like every time we talk about this story, like one with you, like with the birth story of your first, like obviously I didn't know what I didn't know at that time because I didn't know anything about birth or labor or pregnancy or like what you really need support wise postpartum. And I remember when I had my first baby, I think I said to you like I'm so sorry I wasn't there for you more
Yeah.
then because Lord, like the support that women should have postpartum is way more than what we're given. And my stomach just growled. With your second baby, we had something going on and we've hashed that out too. But like, I really am just so sorry that I wasn't
Yeah.
more supportive during that time.
And it's okay. And I was so checked out, like I said. Like, I was like a mental block. Like, I had a hard time even like bonding with my first baby because I was just like, it was so traumatic. And I feel like people don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like,
Well, because people just expect, like, oh, you have a baby, you should be happy. Like,
yeah.
but it's not that simple. It's not like this baby comes in the world and you forget everything that happened. Like, that's
Yeah.
not how that works.
And because of that, like, I had terrible postpartum anxiety with my first. Like, I had to get on anxiety medication because it was so debilitating.
Yeah.
And I think that
I'm
that
just
played
glad
a
that you
huge
reached out
role.
for help though, because I feel like a lot of women won't.
Yeah, it played a huge role, I think, like the way that my birth went with him, like into how I felt postpartum.
Yeah.
Because it was a way different story with her, and I'm so thankful.
Yeah.
But with her, I made it to 35 and 6. And the day that I went into labor with her,
Fun fact, I made Lacey take pregnancy photos
Yeah.
because she didn't have any, and I was like, please let me take photos of you. Like, this is such a special time in your life.
and
Thanks.
because I hated pregnancy so much, I was like, I really don't care. Like, I didn't get any done with my first. I was like, it's just, I really don't care. And like all of my friends this time around were like, this is a special thing. Like, you, like, it's, what am I trying to say? Like, this is something you're gonna want to remember, and you're gonna want to have these. Like, I didn't want to have a baby shower with her. Like, I was like nothing. And one of my friends actually like threw me a little thing, like when one of my out of town friends was in town, and she was like, this is just something special. Like, I don't want you to feel like just because you have another baby or just because your birth was terrible or your pregnancy was terrible that this isn't like special, because
Yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
And so I was like, okay, fine, like I'll take these pictures, whatever. And I'm so thankful that I have them.
Yeah.
And she left, and like
I went out to dinner and my phone starts ringing and I'm like, I know she ain't about to tell me she's in labor.
because I never call you
Yes,
on the phone
exactly.
ever.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, so my water just broke.
I'm pretty sure I answered the phone. What's wrong?
Yeah. I'm like, so my water just broke, and my hospital is on labor diversion. So I had to go to a completely different hospital.
They were on labor diversion.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So my midwife is like, I'm sorry. Like, there's nothing we can really do. So
And how did that make you feel?
oh my gosh. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, it's always
Always
something.
something.
It's always something. So I'm like,
Gosh.
okay. I picked a different hospital that's like a sister hospital, I guess, but I still didn't have like my providers that I had been seeing the whole time.
I just had a really weird connection. I just had this thought of like the devil is really like, why does the devil attack this area of her life?
Yeah.
Lacey and I are both Christians. Why? Like, why is God allowing the devil to attack this part of your life? Why is like, I don't. And I feel like the Lord was like, she's supposed to help other women. Like
Yeah.
something. The reason you're going through this, I hate that you're going through it. But like, what if it is to empower other women, because it is such a rare occurrence.
Yeah.
It is such a medical anomaly. Like, I wonder if your testimony is to help other women.
Yeah.
You know?
And I was praying my whole pregnancy with her, like, please let her be healthy. Like, we didn't know. She was a surprise baby, so that was fun. But I'm like, please, like, let this baby be healthy. Let this baby get, like, farther than my first did. Like, just have your hand on this pregnancy, on this baby. And, like, I'm so thankful that he did.
Yeah.
And, like, when I was on my way to the hospital, like, after my water had broken, it was similar to the first, but it like started trickling. My husband's about to go out to dinner. I'm like,
Oh no.
I don't think you should go out to
I'm glad
dinner.
he didn't leave yet.
Yeah, he was walking out the door. And I'm like, babe, like this is a little bit different than like just normal discharge. Like I think you need to like stay for a second, like just wait.
Yeah.
And then it kept dripping more and more and more. And then it's like dripping on the floor. I'm like, no, like I know what this is.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's like, okay. So I like go put on a diaper because I'm like, I ain't about
Not
to
the
be
diaper.
I ain't about to be dripping all over the floor. And then we call my parents. Like we're like, okay, like we need to bring our oldest to you. My mom's like, okay, I wasn't expecting this, but like, it's fine. And then like no one talks about either. I mean, I guess some people do, but it's so hard like leaving your first to go have your second. Like
Yeah.
I didn't
you
expect
cry?
it. I did. I like
Aw.
say goodbye, and he was doing fine. And then I said goodbye to him, and I'm like crying, and Aaron's like, "You're making this worse," and I'm like, "I can't help it."
I'm emotional. Because when you have like, I used to hate when people would say this to me, and I'm gonna say it because it's true. Your first gets so much bigger
Oh yeah,
after you have your next baby.
yeah.
It's so sad.
And it's so sad. And like I was expecting, well, I wasn't expecting because I didn't have any expectations. Once I got to 35 weeks, like I packed my hospital bag. I
Yeah.
was like, this could come any day.
Yeah.
And so, but it's just like when it actually happens, like this is your last moment that you have with like
yeah, just you two.
just you two, and like this is the baby that like made you a mom. Like
Yeah.
it's just so special. And then you're like, it's just really sad. But
Yeah.
anyways, tangent. But so we're like getting in the car. I was like driving, like we're laughing, talking about like I can't believe we're doing this. Like I have to
Yeah.
go to a different hospital. Like what in the
Such
heck?
a different experience.
And I
from
like
the first
looked at
time.
him, and he was like driving, and I was like, I cannot like explain to you the peace that I feel right now.
Mhm.
And I was like, I
That
just
just
like
gave me chills.
I know. I'm about to cry. I'm like, it's just 100% different. Like
Yeah.
this, like I know that everything's gonna be okay. Like this, like I just feel in my heart that this is like 100% different.
Yeah.
Immediately when we got to the hospital, I got the last bed at this hospital. Like, what in the world are y'all people doing in July? Like,
Right.
like everybody was celebrating some Independence Day, I guess, because there was so many babies being born that
I'm pretty
day.
sure I got pregnant in July with my first.
Yeah, because you were March.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got pregnant very end of July with her. So these people
July
like
a
to celebrate-
special month.
They like to celebrate America, I guess. So, I got the very last bed at
Thank the
the
Lord.
hospital, thank God. But even like from the beginning, like the nurses I had, like I could just tell like God's hand was like over this situation.
Yeah.
Like they were so nice. Like they were just like,
And that hospital is a nice hospital too.
yeah. We got the shoebox room for our postpartum
Oh,
though. We were
yeah.
in the closet.
I had a shared at my hospital. They do shared postpartum rooms.
Oh,
Isn't that
really?
yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I had the potential to be in a shared room.
Ugh.
Isn't that? Oh, why is it
Yeah.
even an option?
No, that's awful.
Sorry, you had a small room.
It's fine. But anyways, I labored longer with her, so I like was contracting and stuff, and I'm like, oh, like this ain't
This
it.
kinda hurts.
this kind of hurts.
I think breech contractions are even maybe a little more. Do you feel like you lost as much water with her as you did with him?
Yeah. By the time that I got back to the operating room, they started like operating. They were like, you have no water.
Yeah.
Like-
So contractions with no amniotic fluid are like way stronger.
Yeah. And so, because I was like sitting on the hospital bed, I'm like, I've never really like labored, but I'm like, does it like, do you feel like you're peeing yourself every 5 seconds? Because I was drenched. I was having to like
Really?
call them in there to like change the bed pad because
Really?
there was so much water. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like sitting in my pee. Like, this is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And so the nurses were great. They were joking with us. Like, it just felt like they were like handpicked like for
Good.
me. Like, they were so amazing. We went back into the operating room. I'm like telling them, I really want to have a spring baby. I was 1 day away from having a spring baby, and it was like 11 at night. And they're like, we're gonna get you this spring baby. Like,
Yeah.
and so
Goes so perfect with her name, which we're not sharing.
yeah.
But
So we were in the operating room. We didn't know what she was. Every single nurse like was just amazing.
well, I knew what she was. I knew when you told me that you accidentally saw that note on your chart that one day, that was like, what did it say?
It's a girl. All capital letters.
And you were like, I am ignoring that. I'm ignoring that. I'm ignoring
No,
that. She called me and she was like, I'm pretty sure that I just found out what I'm having.
And I found this out 2 days before I had her. I'm like, y'all kept it a secret this long, and then you over there showing me the chart. Like, come on, girl. But then I really was so convinced she was a boy that it almost made it like more 50-50 for me.
Yeah.
And so they were just amazing in there. The anesthesiologist was like, which this felt like a God thing too, but she's like, my daughter was born on like your exact day, like my exact birthday.
Your birthday?
Yeah.
Aww.
And she was like, so I just feel like I'm supposed to be in here right now. And like she asked me like what music, like they put on worship music for me, and like all of the nurses were like, okay, girl, like let's put on some worship. Like they were,
let's have a revival up in this OR.
They were great, and I just felt so much peace. Like I was laughing, like talking with my husband, talking with the nurses. Like it was just such a different experience with her, and I am so thankful that it went that way.
So you feel like you got your redemptive birth?
Yeah, even though it was still a C-section, it was just like, it was so much different. It was warm. Like I didn't feel sterile. I didn't feel like a number.
Yeah.
Like they made us feel very like welcomed and wanted in there, and it was really nice. But so then they let my husband say what she was, and it was just really special.
So I might be like speaking on the side of my mouth, but I feel like you and I both, we are kind of like not control freaks, but we like to be in control of our situations.
Yeah.
And do you feel like I'm making an assumption here, but do you feel like God has taught you that like you can't be in control of every situation?
Yeah,
like,
a little bit. And I think that's one thing I had to like pray about during my pregnancy, like please help me feel okay with not being able to like have this go the way that I want.
Yeah. That's hard. That's hard.
It was much better. Like I've said like 100 times, like it was just a completely different experience. I'm so thankful. Like after a couple of days, like I was like, I could do that again.
Yeah.
Like, and
that makes my heart so happy to hear, because one thing that I preach on like the physiological aspect is like one of the biggest parts of birth is surrendering. And I don't say that when I don't mean surrendering to labor. I mean I do mean that, but like you have to surrender to birth as a whole, because birth can quickly go a very different direction than what you've been planning for. And so I think that you learning that like, Lord, I'm surrendering to you, I'm surrendering to your plan, I'm surrendering to this birth, like really played a really big role in the change of peace with this one. And I'm just really glad that you had a much better experience this time.
And like going in knowing that what I had, like I could tell the doctors I have uterus didelphys. Like I had
what did those doctors say when you told them?
They were like, "Oh, yeah, okay, great." That's like cool. that's very rare.
Yeah.
And they did have a resident. Bruh, he gave me an ultrasound and he's like, I don't think the baby's breech. And I'm like, I can guarantee you right now that the baby is breech. I feel the baby's head up in my ribs. I know she's breech. So then the provider came in and she's like, no, the baby's definitely breech. Like,
did she say that in front of the?
Yes. And he was like, can you show me like why?
Baby.
And I'm like, oh.
Like, I mean, that's the point of being a student, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, maybe don't say that in front of the mom.
Yeah. So she said that she could see, like, obviously, when she did the C-section, she's like, yeah, I saw both sides. She was like, but I don't know exactly, like, what, like, it doesn't look like a full didelphys. It looks more like a septated uterus, but she's like, you have the 2 cervix. She was like, so you really probably should get this checked out when you're not pregnant just to make sure you know what it is. She was like, but you usually wouldn't have the 2 cervix with the septated uterus.
Interesting.
So I probably do need to go get that checked out.
Yeah, I would. Just to dig into it a little more. What do you feel like? What do people say the most when it comes up in conversation that you have 2 uteruses?
They're like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm like,
how many times do people reference Grace?
A couple. I've at least gotten 4 or 5.
Yeah. I remember when you told me for the first time, my first thought was, can you get pregnant in both sides?
Yeah. Or
like
that's
like
what everyone says, which I figured you couldn't, because I'm like, well, your body's not dropping an egg because your body knows you're pregnant. I like figured you couldn't. But then some people are like, I think you can. And then I'm like, can you?
So it's kind of, I was digging into this because I also wanted to know that. And there have been a couple different case studies in women. Hang on a second, let me pull them up. So this is from the American Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology. I will put it in the description of the podcast for you guys to reference yourselves. You can't get access to the entire thing because you have to pay for it, but um, it is about a woman who had two twins having uterus didelphys. They had 38-day intervals between deliveries,
That is crazy.
a month apart. But what's funny about that is like there's something called superfetation, which is where let me get the proper definition of superfetation. So, superfetation is a rare medical phenomenon where a second pregnancy occurs while a woman is already pregnant, meaning that the egg release, like the body drops a second egg, it ovulates for a second time after you've already initially gotten pregnant. That is super rare because, like you said, your hormone cycles, like once you get pregnant, your ovulation suppresses.
Yeah.
So for an egg to be released, like it's been documented, but it's extremely rare. It's extraordinarily rare.
Well, thank the Lord.
Huh?
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, thank the Lord, for sure. But they, in this study, they really couldn't clarify whether it was superfetation or not. It says the definition of superfetation in its relation to uterus didelphys requires clarification, which gives you space for them to say, like, we can't really prove
Yeah.
that it was two separate ovulation periods, but we can say it was two separate eggs because it wasn't identical twins. So
right.
two eggs got fertilized in two different sides of the uterus, but they don't know if they dropped at the same time. Did they not drop at the same time? Did one of the babies develop slower than the other baby? Was there some sort of genetic anomaly we weren't aware of? So they really couldn't even
Right.
clarify whether or not it was a superfetation or not, which is kind of, I'm like, science, can we do better than this, please? Like, can you please tell me what is actually happening? So this case study, this is in the National Library of Medicine. I'll also link this one. An asynchronous twin delivery in uterus didelphys with a 12-week interval. 12 weeks apart.
My gosh. Well, I guess if you did have twins and your water broke in one uterus, like the other twin could be.
The other can stay put because they operate independently of each other. So just because one uterus is in labor doesn't mean the other uterus is in labor.
That's crazy.
So it could have been a similar situation with the other case study where two eggs got released into separate uterus, and one of the uterus was like, "Yeah, we're done."
Yeah.
Yeah, 26-year-old presented in the emergency department.
Not the 26-year-old.
25 weeks pregnant with lower abdominal pain lasting 1 hour. On the second day of admission, the male infant was delivered naturally through the right side of the uterus. After 12 weeks, the woman's amniotic fluid broke on the other side, and a female infant was born from the left side of the uterus. Mother was healthy, discharged safely.
That is
So
crazy.
you have twins that are 12 weeks apart. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Like, can you even call them? I guess you have to call them
Lord,
twins.
Please don't give me twins. Please don't give me twins.
Could you imagine?
No.
That would be wild. It's just amazing what our bodies can be capable of sometimes. And I just, like, you go in for, I guess they would have found both pregnancies at the same time because they didn't get fertilized at separate intervals. But I don't know, going into labor and then she had vaginal deliveries 12 weeks apart.
Oh gosh, girl.
12 weeks. That is like 3 months. Yeah, 3 months at that point. So I guess I'm having sex at that point. So I'm really not that much in pain anymore. But like having to go through labor recovery back to back, that can't be good for your body, first of all.
No.
But like that's just absolutely wild. Absolutely wild.
God bless that girl.
Yeah, dude.
Shout out.
Lord, do not give Lacey twins, please.
I can't do it. If he give me twins, I'm gonna be like, this is it for me.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here for a second.
Oh gosh.
Do you have, like, what if someone came to you and they had just recently found out, after they'd been preparing to have an unmedicated labor or a home birth, whatever, and they find out that that's not something that is going to be happening and they're absolutely spiraling? Like, what would you say to that girl that really just needed a moment of reassurance from somebody who's gone through it?
That if you were to ask me with my first and ask me now, it would have been two totally different.
I want to know what you
answers.
would say now.
But what I would say now is that, like, at the end of the day, like, as it sounds like cliche, but no matter how your birth goes, like, your body still brought your baby into this world.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though it's not how you wanted it to happen, like, you still grew this human. You can still, like, nourish this human. Like, just because your birth didn't go the way that you wanted to does not mean that your bond is any less with your baby,
Yeah.
or that you were not, like, that you couldn't do it.
Right.
Because there are medical anomalies. Obviously, I'm one of them. There are, like, things just happen, and
Yeah.
things don't always go the way that you want them to.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, like, you are still your baby's mom no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And no one can take that away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you had this birth that is traumatic, even if you had this birth that didn't go the way that you wanted it to, at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
like, nothing can change the fact that, like, that baby is yours and that you did everything you could to, like, bring that baby into the world.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone tries to tell you, this makes me so mad, like, that because you had a C-section that it's less of a birth, or that, like, it's easier, you took the easy way out. You did not. Like, it is hard. You have to completely, like, numb your whole entire, like, chest down, lay on this table, and let these people cut into your skin
It's a
while you're
major
awake.
abdominal surgery.
And then the next day, you're expected to take care of a baby with no sleep.
Yeah.
Walking around, feeding a baby, taking care of a baby. And, like, there's, like, you're just supposed to be okay.
Right.
And, like, it is not the easy way out. And
No.
please do not let anybody tell you that. And you are not any less of a mother because you couldn't actually birth your baby.
Amen. You are a superwoman. For
Thanks,
sure.
girl.
One more thing I want to dig into, and then we'll wrap everything up here. So you've had two very different breastfeeding journeys. I remember after your first breastfeeding journey, you said, I am never going to even try to do this ever again.
Yeah, because it sucked. It
What
really
changed that?
I don't even know. I think going more into, like, the natural space.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, wanting to be a source of nutrition for my baby, and knowing that, like, not that it is better for her necessarily, because if your baby is fed and your baby is happy, that's all that matters.
I'll be controversial. I do think breast is best, and if you can't breastfeed, that doesn't make you any less of a mom by any standard at all.
Yeah.
I think if you have to use formula, I'm so glad that we have formula.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we can still nourish our babies, but by science, breast milk is best.
Yeah. So I think really diving into that and being like, you know, like, I just will give it one more shot. And my breastfeeding journey with my first didn't even, knowing what I know now, I think I could have probably saved that journey. But I just was not, like, I was, like I said, with
Did
him,
you
I was,
know, though?
no.
Like,
and I was so dysregulated, like I said, and I was just, like, checked out. And
Yeah.
I was like, he's not gaining weight. He was extremely jaundiced,
Yeah.
like, to a point where his temperature got down to 94. And that's when we took him to the emergency room. They did all this unnecessary stuff, which that is
That
a
made
whole
me so
nother story.
sad, yeah.
And that really, like, thinking back, makes me so mad to know that I couldn't advocate for myself as his mom. But I was, like, a hot mess. I was a wreck.
Yeah.
And so, but we finally got a peds doctor that was like, his jaundice levels are just out the roof. Like, I don't even know why they did all of this other stuff.
I just want to smack myself in the face thinking back to, like, that time in your life. Like, I can't even begin to imagine what you were going through.
Yeah, it was really scary. And, like, that was, again, like, no one understood. Like, they're like, oh, you're never gonna want to have another baby. And I'm like, I don't think you realize what I went through.
Yeah.
And, like, not saying that having a baby at 23 is, like, the craziest thing ever, but I was so young.
Yeah.
And, like,
You don't realize how young you were till you get older and you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I was a baby.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, they don't take you seriously because you're so young, and, like, everything, it was just not it. But basically, we went, and he had lost so much weight. We were at the pediatrician, like, every other day because he was early, and then we got to the hospital and they're like, well, let's triple feed. And I'm like, I cannot do that. I will not do that. Like,
Yeah.
I
I'm
can't.
almost glad that you decided to just like put that like down because for the sake of your mental health, like I
Yeah.
think that was in the best.
Yeah. So we put him on
'Cause
formula.
having a healthy mom is really of utmost importance in
Yeah.
order to raise a baby.
And I was okay with the decision in the moment. I was like, yeah, that's what needs to happen, and I'll do that. Like, it is what it is. But afterwards, I did struggle with the feeling like I failed him, and like I feel like a lot of people, and it's not talked about. Like when breastfeeding doesn't work,
Yeah,
like
it's hard.
you beat yourself up
Absolutely.
so bad.
I remember calling you when I had to end my first journey early, like sobbing on the phone to you, like
yeah. Because no one, like, there's just no support, and it
No.
sucks. There's no support for half of the stuff that women deal with. And like they don't set you up for success in the hospital with breastfeeding. Like half of the stuff I've learned when like with her journey, I've learned on social media through like lactation
Yeah.
consultants that have like taught me so much, and I'm thankful that I know what I know now with her.
Absolutely. Even with my case, having my first in the hospital, the lactation consultants they had available for me, they had me pumping immediately.
Really?
Yes, they brought me a pump. Literally, they didn't even ask for consent for me.
Really?
Yes, another thing that I also didn't know because, like you said, you're 2 days postpartum, you haven't slept, like you're
Yeah.
trying to figure everything out, and they come in with the pump and they pull my nursing bra down, connect the pump, and they're like, "This is how you do this. You're gonna start pumping now." Yeah,
That's insane.
not knowing what I know now, like, and I think for me, like that's my biggest drive for maternal itself is like these hospital workers and these hospitals they just do things and they don't give any sort of explanation. The providers aren't doing their part in teaching you how to properly out. Like, why are we having to have out of hospital people say to us that is not normal, you have to advocate for yourselves?
Right.
Like, why is it the people that aren't the medical professionals the one that have our best interests in mind?
Right.
And I just really struggle with that. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about having these conversations, like not to scare people. I don't want people to feel scared. I want people to understand that it is of utmost importance that you have advocacy in your corner, whether that be a doula or a friend, or maybe you do find a really great provider that does do really well at explaining things to you. But for the majority of us out here, like I think about Drew Basham
Oh my gosh.
and her birth story. I don't even know if
And she never, like, she says all the time she will never have another baby. Like, that's how traumatic.
and I wonder,
her
does
birth
she
was.
know that it doesn't have to be like that? Not
Yeah.
saying that it's her fault that she doesn't know, but like the fact that nobody took the time to explain anything to her.
Yeah. And that's just how it is. Like one of my really close friends, her baby was struggling with breastfeeding, which it ended up being an underlying thing. But she was learning stuff and from like her sister-in-law who
Yeah.
has a good breastfeeding journey, and she's like, "Why do they not tell you this stuff? Like why don't they tell you to feed on demand? Why don't they tell you that you're deficient in some of these vitamins?"
Because America is wired for women to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to put you on a schedule. It's because most women aren't able to stay at home and feed on demand. So okay, well they can't stay home and feed on demand because they have to work because we live in a capitalist country. Like we're going to put you on a schedule.
Yeah.
Which ultimately just sets everybody up for failure.
Oh.
Well, I'm thankful that you've had a redemptive everything this time around, redemptive breastfeeding journey, which, you have to take breastfeeding one day at a time. It is so hard, exclusively nursing. We're both in that season of life right now. I'm just really proud of you. I'm really happy for you. I'm so glad we have little Miss Thing.
Yeah. And also, one more thing, because people don't talk about this. Cow's milk allergy is very common in babies, and almost more babies than I can count that I know have it, whether it's a sensitivity, whether it's an full allergy. Both of my babies have struggled. My first had different symptoms than my second has, but he was having
Which I
hives.
think really played a part in the first.
I think so too, and I wish I would have known that with him too. But he would get hives all over his body when he would have dairy. He was having a terrible diaper rash. Like, but he was still like gaining weight and stuff, so it didn't affect that as much with him, but with her it's affected her weight gain more than anything. So she's like a little bit behind with her like height and weight,
Mhm.
so we do have to supplement some with her, but once she gets on track I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
But also, like, if you have to supplement, because I've struggled with this, I've called you and texted you crying multiple times about this, like, it is okay. Oh girl, where are you
She
going?
said, "I'm on the move."
She said, I'm gonna cry because I'm stuck on my stomach. But if you have to supplement, like, it is not the end of the world, and don't give up on breastfeeding just because you have to supplement for a
Yep.
season.
Mhm.
Because I've struggled with that, and that is something that I've learned and that I've come to terms with, that sometimes you just need a little extra help.
Yes,
And
and that's okay.
it's okay.
It is okay. Formula can be your village because I
Yes.
think about it every day. I'm like, I'm about to put this
Yeah.
formula in this bottle, and you gonna sleep tonight.
You
okay?
go sleep tonight. You're not gonna
Yes.
wake up 7 times tonight,
Yes,
boy.
It's awful. It's awful.
But yeah, that's another thing that I feel like really passionate about
Yeah.
advocating for, because I've felt so defeated,
Mhm.
like, and feeling like, why isn't my body enough? When half of the time your body is enough. It's an
Yes.
underlying issue
Yes.
that you didn't know about, because she's been getting cow's milk in places that I didn't even know she was getting it from. And like that explains everything. It explains why she gains weight well this time and not the next time.
Mhm.
And like, when you learn more, you know more, and you do better.
Yes, 100%.
And so she's doing good, and I think that we'll be able to like transition off of formula soon.
Yeah.
But just don't beat yourself up about it, because it's so hard.
Yeah. Well, you're killing it. You're a great mom. You're a great advocate for your kids.
So are you.
And I love you so much.
I love you.
Thank you guys for joining us and discussing all of this. I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.